Fortnite's gearing up for its biggest live event yet, and this one's about to change the island forever. The last reality is hovering over Golden Coast, and all eyes are locked straight on the 0-point shard. The latest Fortnite update wasn't just a content drop. It was a warning shot proving that this season's storyline is finally shifting into overdrive. While the entire Loopers base is distracted, scrambling to get their hands on the stick of truth, they are completely blind to the sinister machinations unfolding right under their noses. This update made it painfully clear that Dark Voyager has already initiated the Rift activation sequence, effectively rolling out the red carpet for an extinction-level threat. We've known the last reality was looming. The clues have been dropped literally since the very first day of this chapter, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Opening this rift isn't just about inviting a new enemy to the island, it's about resurrecting a ghost from the last chapter. Yes, I'm talking about the return of Dago. Speaking of Mask Maker, his brand new skin will not just hit the item shop, which is naturally the perfect opportunity to use my creator code if you want to support the channel. But marketing aside, we need to ask why he is making such a sudden, ominous return. It seems our old acquaintance has abandoned his craft of mask making and has instead thrown his lot in with the last reality. I say this because his new aesthetic practically screams corruption. Frankly, it bears a striking and unsettling resemblance to Lynx's design from OG mode. It appears the last reality hasn't just recruited the Mask Maker, they have completely fractured him. We have to remember that we were living inside a simulation where the Dark Presence was essentially a critical system error. Dago was the key figure involved in trying to liberate that darkness and join its army. Having apparently resolved that glitch, the Dark Voyager, or whoever is currently pulling the strings of the last reality, decided it was time to put this dangerous piece back on the chessboard. Given Daigo's history of weakness toward dark artifacts, it seems they found a way to corrupt him all over again. This raises a terrifying question. After we escaped Oninoshima, did the last reality pay the island a visit? It is entirely possible that nothing remains of our old home, and that its residents have been forcibly conscripted into the ranks of this sinister organization. Honestly though, I'm glad he's back. It means the saga of the Demon Hunter family is far from finished. We have a massive mystery to unravel this season regarding how he was consumed by the darkness again, and what his ultimate endgame is. But we'll talk about that a little later. Right now, let's move on to the new collaborations coming to the game soon. According to the latest leaks, the Loop is about to get a serious infusion of style with Luna Snow and Magic. For those who don't play Rivals, Luna Snow is this incredible K-pop idol with ice manipulation powers. Honestly, her visual effects in Fortnite are going to be insane if they get them right. And then there's Magic, wielding her massive soul sword. Her design in Rivals is arguably one of her best looks ever, so getting that specific variant in Fortnite is a huge win for Marvel fans. Now, there are still 2 encrypted skins in this wave, and the community speculation is running wild. Personally, I am praying to the Epic Games gods that one of them turns out to be Jeff the Land Shark. I know, hoping for a full-blown Jeff skin might be a stretch since his hitbox would be tiny, but imagine him as a sidekick or a reactive back bling. That would be an instant cop for me. If I can run around the map with Jeff floating behind me, take my V-Bucks. If the latest files are to be believed, we are finally returning to the Land of O. Yes, you heard me right. Adventure Time Wave 2 is officially in the works. Now, I know what you're thinking. We already have Finn and Jake. And you're right. It's been almost a year since we got that first drop back in Chapter 6. But let's be real. That first wave, as legendary as it was, left a massive hole in our hearts. We got the heroes, we got Princess Bubblegum and Marceline. But we missed out on some of the most iconic characters. Well, Epic has apparently heard our prayers because the leaks for Wave 2 are absolutely insane. According to the reliable insiders, and we're talking the usual suspects like Sheena and Hypex here, the files suggest we are getting at least 3 to 4 new skins. The biggest, and honestly the funniest leak so far, is the Earl of Lemongrab. And there is heavy speculation that we are finally getting the gender-swapped legends, Fiona and Cake. Given how popular the Fiona and Cake spin-off series was, this makes total sense. Also, the Fortnite roadmap was recently updated with the release schedule for 2026, meaning the dates for all content updates and season renewals have been shared by an official source. Of course, these dates are targets for the developers, and unexpected delays can happen. Nevertheless, it gives us an idea of what the year holds for Fortnite. The community is quickly analyzing the dates to figure out when the next seasons, as well as Chapter 8, will begin. Updates are usually released every 2 weeks, but there are some breaks in the schedule, namely in mid-June. Between June 19th and July 15th, there will be no updates, indicating when Epic employees will be on summer break. Additionally, we expect Chapter 7 Season 2 to run between March 5th and April 29th. Since there was a Star Wars update around this time last year for May the 4th, the update on April 30th will most likely include content for the annual Star Wars event, and perhaps another themed season, as fans always seem to enjoy these crossovers. Gamers are still hopeful that Epics will finally add lightsabers as pickaxes. Maybe 2026 will be the year it happens. Additionally, for 3 years now, there has been a mini-season in November, and the community doesn't believe that trend will stop anytime soon. Another special season will likely occur between October 29th and November 28th. If that's the case, gamers can expect Chapter 8 to go live on November 28th, following the downtime for the year's second-to-last update. Now, let's circle back to Daigo. So how did it all come to this? Let's break it down. That's when Daigo realized he was the only one who could save Jade from the spirit realm. That moment kicked off the Demon Hunter's final event, where Daigo faced off against Shogun X, a demon sent to drain the island's energy. But Daigo, the man of 1,000 masks, won the fight, and brought his sister back from the spirit realm. But here's where it gets crazy. While saving Jade, they discovered the actual 0-point shard had landed inside the spirit realm. And after that, Daigo snapped. He got obsessed with getting it back, convinced only he had the strength to use its power. That's where it all started. Daigo teamed up with Fletcher Kane, the furry baron, supplying him gold. Turns out, that gold was meant to repair an ancient magical mask, and once he brought it back to life, everything changed. The mask started glowing with dark energy, pulsing like it was alive, and then it started whispering. Not just creepy sounds, full-on words, the one that keeps echoing. No one really knows what it means, but it's clear this mask is tied to something way bigger and darker than anyone expected. Whatever Daigo unleashed, it's not done yet. Turns out Asumodesu isn't just some creepy noise from the mask. It's the Japanese word for Asmodeus, a powerful demon. Anyone who dares put on that ancient cursed mask, they risk getting possessed by Asmodeus himself, even Daigo. And what did Daigo do? He pushed forward anyway. He made it all the way to Magic Mosses, started draining energy from the Spirit Realm portal using that cursed mask, and began blasting beams of pure dark energy straight into the sky. Each time he did, a strange purple rift would open for a few seconds. Not a normal rift, but something new, something twisted. Almost like the sideways cracks we've seen before, but different. Even Jade was worried. She said Daigo had seen a darkness in the spirit realm, and he thought he could fight it alone. But she warned, if he tries, it's gonna consume him. And guess what? She was right. April 22nd hit, and we got a quest. Stop Fletcher Kane before Daigo dives into the portal. We tried, but it wasn't enough. At that very moment, Daigo unleashed a final blast of dark energy, shattered the barrier guarding the spirit realm, and vanished through the rift with his shard blades, ready to face the darkness. But the big question remains, why? Why go through all this? What is Daigo really after? From the very start of this chapter, the Dark Presence was already holding a 0-point shard. And turns out, Daigo's secret mission all along, it wasn't just about flexing power. It was about reclaiming that shard and saving Oninoshima. But once he stepped into the spirit realm, everything flipped. The Dark Presence used the puppeteer mask to corrupt his soul, turning Daigo into a full-on demon. And as if that wasn't enough, the portal's energy started drawing attention from, yeah, you guessed it, the Death Star. We learned all this thanks to Big Dill and Brat, who straight up broke into the Thousand Faces shop. Inside, portraits of Jade, Kendo, and even their whole trio, but most importantly, a demonic mask on display. Then they find a copy of Daigo's mask, slap it on, and boom, flashback time. We see the moment Daigo crossed into the realm, only to get swallowed up 5 seconds later. Look closer, and you'll spot golden energy taking over his body, something that's been building since Chapter 6 kicked off. We saw it during the Season 1 event, then it dominated last season, and now it looks like Asmodeus is pulling the strings, using gold to control people. We even get a glimpse of the new puppeteer demon, this one dripping in gold, hinting at a higher rank in the demon hierarchy. Daigo's mask literally mutates, and his body is now fused with even more masks, sealing his new identity, the Mask Maker. His once glorious kintsugi armor melts and turns blood red. Daigo stepped through the portal and walked straight into a trap. Waiting on the other side, that same puppeteer who once controlled Night Rose now took over Daigo. That's when the Mask Maker was born, a twisted version who somehow found a way to return to our island. Remember when Big Dill dropped that mysterious shop on the map? Yeah, that was Demon Daigo creeping back in. And that explains why, during the Star Wars live event, another portal suddenly reopened in the mountains. While the whole island was caught in a galactic battle between the Empire and the Resistance, the Death Star locked onto Oninoshima. Palpatine? He didn't just want destruction, he wanted the island's loot. So he sent in Darth Vader, Captain Phasma, and legions of stormtroopers to take it. But Resistance fought back, led by Leia Organa, and with a plan to strike back hard. Hope and Jones led a Looper strike team right into the Death Star, pretending to be prisoners and guards to sneak inside. They reached the ship's core systems, sabotaged the shields, and gave their pilots a shot at blowing it up from the inside. But while they were escaping, boom, Palpatine shows up. Yeah, the Emperor tried to end it all with one final blast of Sith lightning, but right when all hope seemed lost, Hope, the character, pulled out a rift, threw it down like a shield, and bam, teleported the entire team off the Death Star just in time.
How did you know that would work?
I didn't!
Well, good work back there.
And that's how it all ties together. As we flew away, we looked back, just in time to watch our squad blow the Death Star to pieces, but not without consequences. The explosion sent debris raining down onto Oninoshima, and one of the fragments slammed straight into the Spirit Realm portal. That triggered a massive shockwave, knocking us all unconscious. Luckily, Superman was already on his way. Alarmed by the Death Star's destruction, he swooped in and rescued a group of kids stuck inside a downed battle bus. A new corrupted version of Daigo has taken over the island. His old home, the peaceful Thousand Faces shop, is now a terrifying demon domain, guarded by demons wearing ancient power masks. At the top of that tower, Daigo himself. These masked soldiers have spread across the map, protecting strange spires that showed up overnight. The dark force behind Daigo has realized something terrifying. Fortnite's not just one universe anymore. Since the end of 2023, we've seen millions of realities colliding at once, like the OG mode running parallel with this one. That's why we've got rifts in this season, and didn't have them back in Chapter 1, Season 4. Another world running at the same time? Lego Fortnite. Something tells me this story's far from over. The only thing that might bring us any closer to solving these mysteries is the final scene of the Galactic Battle season. We saw a beam bursting out of the Spirit Realm, trying to shatter the Loop's bubble from the inside. And crazy part? This isn't even the first time we've seen it. Back in Chapter 6, Season 2, Daigo was already firing those massive dark energy blasts into the sky, slowly breaking the loop without us even realizing it. But the real question is, why is the Chapter 6 island even trapped in a reality bubble to begin with? But before I tell you, dear loopers, don't forget to use the best creator code in the multiverse. Speaking of multiverse, let's rewind to the Fracture event that kicked off Chapter 4. That's when the 0 Point teleported into an unknown reality. And based on everything we know, the reality bubble always follows the 0 Point. Let's remember, back in Chapter 3, the bubble and the island together made up Reality 0. It kept both islands stable and protected the 0 Point at the same time. So now that we've got both an island and a loop on Oninoshima, there's a solid chance the 0 Point is here too. Maybe that's why the Zero Shard showed up, like it's returning to its source. You know what they say? Everything goes back to where it came from. And maybe, just maybe, the 0 Point is slowly rebuilding itself from all the scattered pieces. And here's where it gets wild. Oninoshima? Yeah, it existed long before the Big Bang. My theory: when the Zero Shard arrived here, it created the reality bubble around the island as a defense mechanism, and it happened the moment it got dragged into the spirit realm. That actually makes a ton of sense. The shard was totally defenseless after the demons captured it, so to avoid attention, it wrapped the island in a protective shield. This would also explain why Dago didn't just enter the spirit realm at the end of Lawless Season. He also started attacking the bubble itself, trying to weaken it. Why? To help the Empire breach the defenses of Oninoshima faster. And it gets even deeper. Dago might have predicted that fragments of the Death Star would crash into the portal and unleash the demon domain. I'm basing this on Chapter 2, Season 8, where we learned the spirit realm can literally see the future.